P.E.I. is facing another deficit in the hundreds of millions of dollars. The budget was announced today, and the finance minister says difficult decisions had to be made. Here's an overview. The deficit is projected to be nearly $410 million. Last year, the budget was for nearly $184 million deficit, but that ballooned to around $450 million. And here are some big changes announced today. The province is eliminating what's called the P.E.I. energy rebate. That will increase electricity bills by around $175 a year. The GST tax credit is going away, which was also based on income. The province says it's replacing that with something called the Island Essentials benefit. Everyone will get that starting in July. Couples could receive up to $365 a year, single people up to $310. Wayne Thibodeau joins us now live with more details. How will this new benefit work, Wayne?
Well, Louise, the government is putting the money that it put into rebates to help islanders with their electricity bills and putting it into this new program. Now, it, as you mentioned, will replace the GST rebate and will be paid out quarterly starting in July. But as you mentioned, islanders' electricity bills will be going up on average about $175 a month. Here's Finance Minister Jill Burge from inside the budget lockup earlier today.
Their electric bills, yes, are going to go up. That 10% HST is being taken away. So essentially, we're taking the money out of there and putting it through the Island Essentials benefit directly into their pockets. So a lot of households are actually going to see probably more money than they did through the 10% HST measure on their maritime electric bills.
So I should mention that is $175 a year increase, not a month. So let's break this down. Individuals will receive about $310 annually, while couples will receive about $365. Now, the full benefit will be available to households who earn up to $95,000. But there's something in here for everyone, so people can get up to $175, even if they are in that higher income bracket. Now, Burridge said this was a tough budget and difficult decisions had to be made. But if you look at the spending, the budget shows that there's increases in almost every government department. So I asked Burridge, where are the cuts?
You are right in that there were probably, I think, about $40 million worth of cuts-ish in transportation, infrastructure, and energy. A lot focused on energy programs. Another one that I'm thinking of right now is the Community Housing Expansion Program, I think is another one that's being put on pause.
So Burridge says there are more tough budgets ahead and deficits into the hundreds of millions of dollars. That will push the island's net debt to more than $5 billion. That's with a B.
Interesting, because, I mean, the Premier sort of said there would be some cuts. So I'm glad you asked that question, Wayne. What is the opposition saying?
Well, the opposition members are saying that this budget is concerning, especially regarding the fact that islanders who are already paying for all these extra costs and having a hard time to make ends meet are now going to pay more for electricity.
That's going to result in a big increase in islanders paying for their electricity rates. That, you know, Maritime Electric is quite good at increasing rates over and over and over again. Now we see government taking steps, actively choosing to take a step. That's also going to result in electricity rates getting higher.
To suggest to islanders we're going to make it better for you. Meanwhile, they're taking $175 away from the rebate they had been getting, and that's probably going to raise again. So at the end of the day, what's the benefit for islanders? Not much. Not much at the end of the day.
But Burridge says that this budget, in her words, was grounded in the realities that islanders are facing. And she said that government made deliberate choices, Louise, to continue supporting islanders during these difficult times.
Okay, thank you very much for this, Wayne. That's Wayne Thibodeau reporting from the P.E.I. legislature. And here are a few other notes from today's budget. The province is creating a new tax bracket for people who make more than $200,000, and there will be an increase to property taxes. That's for non-residents. Healthcare spending is up to $1.4 billion. Some of the new expenditures there are $194 million to expand long-term care, $30 million for recruitment and retention of workers, $26 million for the medical school campus at UPEI. And in education, plans to add 400 new early year spaces, 70 educational assistants, and new positions to implement recommendations in the Jenkins report on school safety. You can see more on the budget. It's up on our website, cbc.ca/PEI.